Hello folks, Matt Peterson here. If you are interested in learning how to build your very first Copilot inside of Microsoft Teams, you are in the right spot. And if you are an educator coming to this series, then you are definitely going to see all the cool advantages you get with this. So without any further ado, let's head on over and make our first chatbot. Before we begin, if you are interested in learning more about the Power Platform, please go to prag.works/map40 where you will get 40% off our on-demand learning subscription, which has access to over 100 different courses. Let's get on to the video. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create this Copilot inside of Teams. Now, there's other Copilots you can create using Copilot Studio, so you get a little bit more functionality with that. We'll cover a few of those in the rest of our series, but this one comes with Teams automatically. And again, this series is for my Power Platform for educators, so I want to let you know some capabilities that you can take advantage of to handle some student questions that you just don't want to answer all the time. Let them go to the chatbot, ask those routine questions, and not interrupt your lesson. So here's what we do. The first thing is we go open up Microsoft Teams, whether you want to open it up in the web or you want to open up the desktop version. And then from here, you can see I've got my Microsoft Copilot Studio already installed. But if you don't, if you come on to the three dots here and view more apps and you search for Copilot, and you can do Microsoft Copilot Studio. So that is the one that we'll be using. And so I've already installed this on here. So I'm going to click on my Copilot Studio. What I've done in the past is I've pinned this to the left-hand side so I don't have to do this every time. So if you do a right click, you can pin that over there so you don't have to search for it every time. Now, when you're ready to make your first Copilot, first things first is we'll click on Start Now. And what they're going to ask us is what teams do you want to put this into? So I'm going to come on down here and select one of my teams. I've got one called YouTube here. So I'm going to pick my YouTube app in a team series. I'll click on continue. And now what's going to happen is it's going to start to provision this Copilot. So we got to give it a few seconds, but I'm not going to make you sit around here through the magic of editing. We'll see it already provisioned here in a second. All right, so it finally loaded up. And the first thing we always do is give our Copilot a name. And so I'm just going to call this Copilot Mr. Peterson's Student Helper. Or I'll go Student Assistant. I'll choose a language, pick an icon. You can upload your own icons as well, but we're just going to keep it with the generic one here, and then we'll hit create. So now at this point, what's happening is going to have to put in all the goodies, all the things that a Copilot, a chatbot needs in order to do its operations. So this can take a few moments. So once it is provisioned here, we'll continue on with our next steps. All right, so it took about 30 seconds on my side here. So you can see that the chatbot has been provisioned. Now, we're not going to go into everything in here. This is the first video of the Copilot. We're going to go over some of the basics. And one of the first things to know is what are called topics. So when I click on topics here, these are topics that come with your Copilot. Think of topics as knowledge level areas. So the way I like to know is a topic, the Copilot needs to know, the chatbot needs to know, where do I need to take the user based on what they have typed in? So it's just like if my son came up to me and said, hey, Dad, I'm interested in learning about dinosaurs. Well, I'm going to go to his room, into his library, and pull out the book dedicated to dinosaurs, and then we'll start to explore. If he said, Dad, I want to know more about the Jacksonville Jaguars, well, then I go to a different book. So think of topics as different conversations you want to have based on the knowledge information. So you typically don't want to make one gigantic topic with all the information, because in order to get to what they need, they're going to have to go through all these different pieces of the conversation. So that's in general what you can think of as a topic. Now it comes with some pre-created topics here. So what you can do if you're new to this is these are lesson topics. So they deal with like store information and stuff. So watch what I can do. If I go to the test bot panel on the left, I can come on over here and type something like stores near me. Now one thing I like to do is as I'm testing my bot, and you can always open up the test bot panel from here if you didn't open it earlier, but I like to turn on tracking between topics. So this will let me know what's going to be engaged. So when I type in stores near me, we'll give it a second. It says, hey, I'd be glad to help find a store near you. And this is engaged the simple topic with the condition variable. And so this is a topic that's just pre-created for us just to give us an idea of what topics are. So as you can see, topics have what are called trigger phrases. So because I put in stores near me, that is, even though it wasn't exact store near me, it initiated this topic. And then they gave me a message. I'd be glad to help find a store near you. Then it asks a question. I'll choose Redmond here. Then it gives me information. So it's just going to go and continue down this pre-created topic. So feel free to explore that. But what we're going to do is we're going to create our very first topic to handle homework related questions. I always got those questions. Mr. Peterson, what do I do when I was absent? Where do I put my missing homework? Or what do I do if I have late homework? Where do I even put my homework to begin with? And I'm in the middle of a lesson, I'm like, oh, I've told you this multiple times, right? So we're going to train our students just to open up Teams, go to the chatbot, and just start to ask their questions themselves. So we're going to start off with a simple topic here. So first things first, we're going to come on over to topics on the far left-hand side. I'm going to remove my test bot panel here. And up at the top, it says new topic, and we're going to choose from blank. So every topic is going to have what are called trigger phrases. So what is a phrase that the user might put in that is about this level of area of knowledge? Typically, best practice is 5 to 10 trigger phrases. Doesn't mean you have to, but definitely I recommend that. So I'm going to put in 5 different trigger phrases here. I'm going to put in turn in homework or late work. I'll put in missing homework. My dog ate my homework. Having a little fun there. And maybe just homework policy. So these are going to be added into the trigger phrases. Now, one thing to note about the trigger phrases, it doesn't have to be an exact match of what the person types in. So it's going to use natural language understanding in the background to try to, based on what the user types in, which they call an utterance, to figure out what does this match closely enough with a phrase, and then let's take them into that conversation, that topic itself. So now that I have my trigger phrases, I'm going to close out of here. Now it has just a generic name of untitled. So what I would like to do, you would think you can just click on it, which you can in the regular Copilot Studio. But here in Teams, we have to click on details, and we're going to give this a different name. And I'm going to call this my homework policy topic. All right. A display name is optional, so you don't have to put one in. The display name is what a user would see if the Copilot gets not confused, but it's not sure which topic to take them to, because it goes, ooh, there's actually 2 topics where your trigger phrase is very close. Let me ask the user which one of these are they kind of interested in. So if you don't put in a display name, when it gets to that part of let me ask you what you want, it will show the official name that you have given it here. So just something to know about. So I'm just going to keep it as homework policy. And I'm going to click on save to save. Now it says topic has an error. That's okay. We're going to provide a message here in just a second. So I'm going to close out my details. And I'm just going to provide in a nice little message. Now I'm going to put in, I see you have a homework related question. I'm Mr. Peterson's assistant, and I can help you with that. So now this is just going to be a message that my user sees. And I'll hit save one more time here now that the message is full. And then the next thing is, I'm just going to say, well, what kind of homework related question do you have? And I'm going to give them some different options to pick from. And based on what they select, show them the related information. All right, so I know we're doing this for homework, but this could be for any of those common routine questions that you want your students to get those answers to very quickly. So I'm going to come underneath here, and I'm going to click on add a node. What a node is just a thing that you want the Copilot to do next. And I wanted to ask my student a question. And the question that I have for them is to help get you the information you need, which of these is related to your homework question? I'll put in a question mark. And then you can see there's an identify here. Now there's a whole bunch of ways to identify, and we'll get into variables and entities later in our series here. But what I'm going to keep it set to is the basic multiple choice, because I don't want them to just type in their question at this point. We'll talk about entities later, because I want them to pick one of these options because I have specific information about each one of them. So I'm going to come on over here and give them some options. So I'm going to say late homework. New option. And then I'm going to put in here, where do I turn in my homework? And then I'll give them another new option. And then finally, I'm going to give them one more, work when I was absent. And then I'm going to click on save. Now what you'll notice here is I'm going to collapse this to make it a little bit easier to see, is that because I gave them a multiple choice option, it automatically added in these condition steps here. It doesn't mean you need to have them. You could, get rid of them if you wanted to. But they're saying from the Copilot developers is like, well, if you're going to ask them a question, maybe there's different options after they pick one or the other that you want to display information about. And it's going to save what they pick as a variable. Now, it's just a very generic var, but if you click on the edit variable here, you can give it another name. So I like to go with var, I'll call this homework issue. Bring that on over here. So var homework issue. And then I'm going to say, well, if it's equal to late homework, then I'm going to show them a message. If it's about where do I turn in homework, message, and then finally a condition, and I'll show a message. So again, we're just covering some really quick, easy basics here. So if they choose late homework, I'll come on over and show them a message. And then I'll show them the message for late homework. You need to turn in to me personally with the reason why it is late, and there will be a 5% deduction for each day late. If I can spell that correctly. Deduction for each day late. All right, then I'll just come over here. Where do I turn in my homework? Okay, they asked that. If that's their issue, then I'll say that for all homework turned in on time needs to be placed in the blue basket with your period label, and this basket is in the front of the room. In the front of the room. And then finally, I'll come on over here. Well, when I'm absent, what should we do? And I'll say all absent homework. All absent homework should be turned in to me personally, and right at the top, the days you were absent. And I'll make that say the word right. Okay, perfect. Now, after they get this message, what do I want to do next? Well, and again, this one's just our first intro video into it, so we're going to add more to this as we move forward in our next videos. But I'm just going to click add a node here, and I'm going to go to end the conversation, and I'm going to end it with the survey so that I can start to collect data about how are my students enjoying the Copilot. Because what we'll learn later on is that it collects data insights for us, so we can start to see how many users, how many of our students abandoned the Copilot because they're not getting their answer, which topics are being engaged the most, what's the survey feedback. So I'm going to go with an end of conversation here. Now, I want the same thing for these other messages, so I don't have to add them underneath. What I can do is click add node, and then I get this little bubble right here, and I can bring this right on over here. So I don't have to keep doing the same thing over and over. So I get the bubble, I drag it. Sometimes it's a little bit finicky. There we go. We got it highlighted. Bring it to here. And there we go. So now I'm going to save my conversation here. And then we're going to take this for a spin. So once we save it, so again, right now you are just developing. Nobody has access to your Copilot. No one has access to this chatbot. We're going to learn, well, how do we do that? How do we put this for the students to be able to interact with it? But right now we're just developing, so we're going to be testing this internally. So what I do is I come on over here. I can hit the test spot in the upper right hand corner, or I can hit the test spot down here, and I'm just going to go with hello. It says, hi, I'm a virtual agent. I can help you out. And this is just a greeting topic that's pre-created for you. And you can modify your greeting topic to say extra information or get rid of some things you don't want inside of there. We're just going to keep it how it is to begin with. And I'm just going to type in homework. So even though I didn't have a phrase that just said homework, a lot of my phrases had the word homework in it. And you can see now that I've got these multiple choice options. Late homework. Where do I turn in my homework? Or work when I was absent. And notice it's now engaged the homework policy. So I'm going to say, well, work when I was absent. Now we'll see all absent work should be turned in, and we can see how it is moving through the conversation. So it asked a question. All right, if I click on variables over here, we can see that our different variables are going to now be stored here for us. And so we've got our survey question here. Did that answer your question? Because I'm now at the end of conversation here. So earlier, we would have seen the variables in the topic we were at. But because we've already ended the conversation, all absent work should be turned in to me personally, Now it's in the end of conversation topic, and these are the variables that are predefined. And I'm going to say, did that answer your question? You know what? It sure did. I'm going to click on yes. Give it a second. It says, great, please rate your experience. So I'll go with the 4-star. Can I help with anything else? No thanks. I'm good. I got my answer. So just right there, what did that take us? About 5-7 minutes just to set up an initial conversation for a regular routine question our student might ask. That is phenomenal, at least for me when I was a teacher. I wish I would have known about this and I could have implemented it into the classroom. We are going to go further with this in our next episodes that we go into in our Power Platform for Educators series. And if you want to take a deeper dive into the Power Platform for Educators, I have a brand new on-demand learning course on our system that you can sign up for and take, where we do Power BI, we do Power Apps, we do Power Automate, and a whole lot more. So hopefully you enjoyed. If this was your first entry into chatbots, or what we call copilots, or what they used to be called Power Virtual Agents. So hopefully you enjoyed, and if that's the case, then I'll be seeing you in the next one.